in terms of political capital, um, you know, if Joe Biden is either not going to run in 2024, which I don't really care for Joe Biden. I don't really want to see him run in 2024, but somebody has to replace him. You know what I mean? And so who's it going to be? You know what I'm saying? Like they have to announce themselves. They have to come forth. Someone like Pete Buttigieg, he's already in the Biden administration. Kamala Harris is already in the Biden administration. So politically and strategically, why would they run? Unless Biden steps down, unless he does that, why would they run? Bernie Sanders, yeah, that'd be great to see him run, but unless he announces, then he ain't running. So, that's what I'm saying is people have to enter the race. So, if Biden doesn't step aside, honestly, why should he? You feel me? Unless he just really doesn't want the job, why should he step aside? Because again, somebody has to replace him. So, I don't want to see him there in 2024, but if I was in office, if I was in the House of Representatives, again, it's what it is. Like, we don't like it, but we got to take advantage of opportunities when we have them and when we see them. But, again, I'm saying, like, if I was in the House somewhere, if I was in the Senate somewhere and I wanted to run for the presidential office because I believe that I could, bring about positive change, I could fight against the establishment in an aggressive way. Even now, I still would be looking at 2028 over 2024 because all of Biden's resources will be done in 2028. He's by that date, he's done. So again, if it's not going to be Biden in 2024, then who's it going to be? You feel me? So unfortunately, that's just is what it is. We may have to wait another 4 years. And on the Republican side, Donald Trump, yeah, he's losing popularity, but he still has enough of a chunk of the base. And the election really hasn't started yet. There's more people, Ron DeSantis, there's obviously a great chance that he would run. And then they floated like people like Tim Scott, Mike, which, obviously Republicans ain't gonna vote for no black man. On top of Tim Scott being a black man, he's an incredibly boring and uncharismatic black man. So that ain't happening. Mike Pompeo, he's just another hawkish war hawk Republican, but does he really have the charisma to take out Trump? Like, what is he really going to say? He was in the Trump administration. And then DeSantis, he's very popular, but that doesn't mean he's going to run a good presidential campaign. He hasn't even started it yet. So to be like, oh, DeSantis is just going to sweep the field. Like, let's not get ahead of ourselves. He the more Ron DeSantis shows himself, the more he may look like a doofus. And we know that Donald Trump is a doofus, but he's a confident doofus. So, his ability to, Donald Trump's ability to just kind of strong arm people in a primal way hasn't gone anywhere. And Donald Trump has less to lose than all of these people. This motherfucker, Donald Trump, has every investigation known to man happening at the same time. He already lost in 2020. That's been done. So again, it's not like, it's always interesting when people act like Trump's this Teflon Don. Like, Trump loses all the fucking time. He lost in 2020. Most of his candidates that he endorsed lost. He loses court cases all the time. He's gone bankrupt many times. He has been sued thousands of times. We have records of him stiffing workers, entire legions of contractors that he just doesn't pay. Like, you feel me? And then he gets sued for it, and he doesn't always win those cases. Trump doesn't win all of those thousands of lawsuits against him. He be having to pay motherfuckers out. You know what I'm saying? He takes gains, and he takes whatever losses he's forced to take, just like anybody else. You feel me? But again, because of that, Donald Trump has less to lose than someone like Ron DeSantis. You feel me? Ron DeSantis is at the beginning of his political career, honestly. He's 44, 45 years old. In general, that's not old. In general, that's, especially these days, 44, 45, that's fairly young, but it's very young in politics. Politics is an older person's game. It just is. Like, that doesn't mean that younger people don't play an important role in it. Of course, younger people do. But naturally, older people in their 50s, 60s, and onward have the most ability in politics because they've lived their lives, they've accumulated more resources, they've established more relationships. And so their word and their will just goes further. It just does. It takes time in life to accumulate power. You know, like you go through your 20s and your 30s and your 40s being active in business and active in networking and active in different types of exchanges, and you accumulate different types of things on a variety of levels. So naturally, you know, you're never going to have a bunch of 20 and 30-year-olds overwhelmingly running a government. You just won't, because 20 and 30-year-olds are just getting started. You know what I'm saying? So all that to wrap up that Ron DeSantis is a very young man in the game. So he has a lot to lose politically. He has a lot to lose. If he comes out here and he looks, and Trump makes him look stupid, like if Trump makes Ron DeSantis look like a big fucking dork ass doofus face, that's going to hurt his political future, because people are going to be like, oh, especially the GOP, especially Republicans, they're going to be like, oh, Ron DeSantis isn't that tough alpha man, ain't that tough gun toting some bitch I thought he was. You know what I'm saying? Like, you feel me? And it's not just even just perception stuff like that. Ron DeSantis is in good graces with the party now, but you know, politics is complicated. People are complicated. If some huge disaster hits Florida, which Lord knows it fucking will, because it's Florida, you know what I'm saying? Like, then there is a chance that the people could be like, my cousin died because of this. My aunt died because of this. And when that happens, conservatives will turn on you. It may take a while. It may have to be that they suffer, but when they suffer, they're still people, and they'll then wake up and be like, hold on. You know what I'm saying? So pretty much, you know, oh yeah. What up, Grandma? What up, Grandma Sunshine Dragon? How you doing? Matter of fact, I'm finna blow some smoke right now, because that's pretty much what the 2024 field is looking like, kind of a regular ass incumbent reelection. You know, fresh campaigns are always more invested in, well, not necessarily invested in dollar wise, but in terms of the public. Like, there's always more attention, more excitement around whenever somebody's 2 terms are up. You know what I'm saying? Like, because it's difficult to take down an incumbent. It just is. They already have the relationships. They already have the establishment behind them. That's hard. It's much easier to win an election when a motherfucker's not an incumbent and there's a fresh slate. You feel me? That's just what it is. And because of that, you know, always remember, there's only finite capital. And that doesn't mean dollars. That can mean energy. We all have 24 hours in a day. That could mean how many advertisers are available. That could mean how many partnerships are available. You know, like, the field just isn't as open during incumbent re-elections. And that's why it's hard to defeat incumbents, you know? So really, you know, again, to wrap up, the 2024, you know, incumbent re-elections looking like another just bland, bad re-election, except that we live in 2023 now. And so there's going to be a lot of noise and a lot of chaos and just a whole lot of craziness going on. But look, put it like this: unless Joe Biden drops out, then if he doesn't drop out, a lot of people are just going to say, fuck 2024, I'll run in 2028. That's just what it is. If he does drop out, well, then we'll see what's up. But I mean, let's be serious. Why would Joe Biden drop out? So that being the case, it's more likely than not going to be Joe Biden wins in 2024, because if the Republican Party can't, even though Joe Biden's approval ratings going down, we know they can fluctuate. But more importantly, if the Republican Party can't unite behind one candidate in a solid way, which they currently aren't showing that they can, then Biden will just win by default. People are going to be like, well, 2028's right around the corner. And, Biden, he sucks, but he doesn't suck super hard. And the Republican Party, well, they're fucking crazy. So, fuck it. That's what it's looking like 2024 is going to be. Let's be serious. That's what pretty much every fucking incumbent reelection is. It's, we got in 4 years, we'll have a fresh slate. And, this motherfucker isn't too bad unless, you're like George Bush or something. Whew, that motherfucker was bad. George, man, goddamn. What was his approval rating when he left office? Like low 20%. Jesus. George Bush is like one of those guys that just never should have fucking been in office. Well, first and foremost, his ass lost in 2000. But that aside, George Bush never should have fucking been in office because he's just such a dumbass. Like he's just, how you doing there, Chuck? Like he's one of those type of guys. Like he don't know what the fuck was going on. Dick Cheney was doing everything, and like that motherfucker. He still to this day, George Bush does not grasp what the fuck happened when he was in office because he was just having a good old time. Goddamn. And then after George Bush, Donald Trump won the election. And now we got Joe Biden, who's the oldest president in history. And Joe Biden, he be just falling asleep. What is going on? This shit is crazy.